Welcome, Virgo. It's 2021. I suspect that New Year wishes are in order. Happy New Year. And as I've said to the rest of the star signs, I only hope it's a much happier year than we saw last. It's only the start, but I do want to talk about some what I'd call the big ticket items in terms of the transits. There is a 3,000 word synopsis that I've put together for you at the site. So I'm not going to go through every single chronological aspect now. That would just take forever. You can fill in all of the gaps and I'll give you the place where to go later. But I want to look at some key factors here for you, in particular the North Node, which is the karmic fruition, if I could put it that way. What it is that is really your destiny point this year. There's a couple of destiny points. First one here is in your career sector. Pardon me. Your career sector. That's the North Node, which is very powerful in this part of the horoscope. And it shows where your desires are predominantly going to be focused in the coming year. That's going to be balanced against the South Node, which is here in the fourth house, which is your family segment. This is also related to your inner happiness and peace of mind and morality, those sorts of things. Venus here shows a connection with those things ruled by Venus. You see here the finances are ruled by Venus in your horoscope, and also legal matters, higher education, teachers, and long distance journeys. The combination of these two planets in the fourth house brings all of these forces to this fourth sector. And that's a lot of power that's counteracting this desire for greater professional and reputational success. I would give weight to this. I'll tell you why astrologically, because the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn took place and really is still currently taking place here in the sixth house of your horoscope. The sixth house is the triangular house to the 10th house. 10th house is the career, the reputation, what you reap in terms of your efforts at work, the professional path. Here the sixth house shows us, and this really is a powerful focus, on the workplace itself, the environment that you work in, the people you work with. So that's going to be a big focus for you. And during the year, the North Node and these planets are going to move into what we call a triangular aspect, which is a very, very fortuitous aspect. Saturn for you is a friendlier planet than Jupiter. Both of them at the outset of the year are being challenged, especially by Mars and Uranus here, loosely speaking. The right angle there can create a lot of frustration, and you've got to be careful you don't take that out on other people, and you've got to be careful that it doesn't affect your nervous system, nor your airways, because this is Aquarius is an air sign, and so it's an intellectual component, but it also sometimes relates to the breathing passages. That's shown more by Gemini here. So taking a lot of deep breaths, literally, can help you just cope with what's going on in that area of your life. Creativity is strong as the year starts, so I think that's going to fuel a great deal of the desire that you have here, shown by Mercury, ruler of your career, here in the fifth house with the Sun. The Sun is your 12th house, and so maybe there's this is a hidden component. You might be interested in things that are a little low-key or behind the scenes, not quite so overt. You may be researching that, maybe doing some investigation. This also has to do with foreign places or very, very foreign cultures, or things are a little bit offbeat or just on the fringe of society. Things and people. And you are being transformed by that. So this is the third factor, this transit of Pluto. We've talked about this for a couple of years now because naturally Pluto is such a slow-moving planet. It's going to impact you in all of these areas. Your children, your creativity, your spiritual connectedness to what you do. This is that childlike state of innocence that we get into when we're completely absorbed in the creative activity that we love. So these are the areas, these three areas, the 10th house, 6th house, 5th house. That's going to shift later in the year. And I did want to address the issue of some of the important eclipses that take place because they are very powerful and they also always happen on or near the karmic axis, future life, past life. The first eclipse takes place on 26th of May, 3 days after Saturn goes retrograde. That takes place in the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is here, the 4th house, what we mentioned earlier, your inner self, your peace of mind. It is also your mother. And the fact that this is a lunar eclipse, the moon is the natural significator of your mother. And that eclipse taking place in the 4th house has a very strong flavour of domesticity and what's happening in the home area of your life. The females in your life also shown by Venus here. And there's a tie-in with this with the finances also mentioned at the outset of your reading. So the lunar eclipse is going to bring all of your attention there. And certainly, because of a couple of other things. Firstly, because when the year starts, the moon, which is what we're talking about now, the lunar eclipse, the moon is in the 12th house, which is this spiritual sector. And the moon is one's mother. 12th house is also hospitals, losses, karmic debts, and those things which in the past have not been yet fully resolved. So I think this ties in with your family life, your relatives, the people you live with. It's more the historical family, not the family that you've maybe married into and grown yourself. This is your historic family, mother, siblings, that type of thing. It's interesting too that the moon rules your 11th house here, which is siblings. 3rd house is younger siblings. 11th house is older siblings. So for some of you, if you have a female sibling, that will be particularly pronounced during this eclipse. The 10th of June, we see a solar eclipse. That's a powerful one as well. It takes place in Gemini. That's going to bring all of the past baggage to be dealt with here in this career sector. Employers, new jobs that you're going for. For some of you, I mentioned earlier as well that this 12th house has to do with foreign affairs or foreign places. So there could be a change being set up for you by the planets, Virgo, as the lunar eclipse, then the solar eclipse take place. Big changes are afoot there. That can also indicate changes to the fabric of the work that you do. We've seen a lot of that throughout the last 12 months. But this could be changes in terms of the management. Your boss may leave or something may occur in the management structure of the company that you work for. If you're running your own business, you may look further afield to bring partners in or new associates or new affiliates that you can work with to really, really develop and ramp up your business throughout the next 12 months. Later in the year, there is a powerful lunar eclipse taking place in that 11th house. Now, all of the transits function well in the 11th house, and this brings your attention to overall your life goals. And if there is some unresolved karma with that sibling we mentioned, this is going to be the time where a lot of that stuff is triggered for you. The final eclipse is on the 4th of December in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius, we can't escape this 4th house, 10th house, 11th house, 12th house. All of these houses relating to the domestic sphere are powerfully implicated. Jupiter also moves back after doing a forward and retrograde dance throughout the year, back into your 7th house. Earlier in the year, it moves there around, let me have a look here, it moves there on the 14th of May. So there's a shift to your most personal relationships at that time. And then later in the year, it retrogrades back. And then finally, on the 18th of October, moves forward to finish off its business here in the 6th house. A lot of attention to health. Look after your debts as well, because that 6th house means you don't want to accumulate debt. You need to get that under control. That's going to give you a lot more peace of mind, which is the function of this 4th house. Please go over to astrology.com.au. You'll get to fill in all of the gaps with the 3,000 word forecast I've done for you there and all the different departments of life. You'll get to see the chronological dates. Again, not every single aspect. That is more for personal reading, which I also invite you to take a look at. Perfect time to do it, Virgo, as the year commences. Where the hell are you going? Where the hell are we all going? That is the domain of astrology, and we can do that with more precise data if we know your time of birth, your place of birth. So I look forward to that. Drop me a line if you want to. Just drop me a message here, subscribe, and I'll get back to you, and we can tie that in, organise a time that's conducive for you. Again, Happy New Year. Thanks so much for your support in the last 12 months. I'm here for you if you need me. I'll be back in February to start up those monthly forecasts again. Take care. Good luck. Stay safe. Bye-bye.